What's going on, guys? I want to show you the latest knife to come off of the workbench here. And this knife was actually a little bit of an afterthought after a conversation that a good friend of mine and I were having at work. And up until the end of last week, I really had no plans on making any kitchen knives in the very near future, much less actually finishing one. But as it often happens, even amidst the dozens of projects that I seem to have going on at any given time, I'll often get a bug in my head and just really not be satisfied until I drop what I'm doing and get a certain project started and out of the way. So that was kind of the case with this one. And overall, I'm very happy with how this one came out. And I think this will actually go to that friend of mine that I was talking to, just to give a little bit of a test run with. And if I know him, chances are he'll probably end up offering me some money for it and wanting to keep it. And that's fine. I'll probably make a couple more of these. I've actually got one more blank, heat treated and ready to start beveling or flat grinding. And then I'll probably make several more of these just as time goes by and allows. But I tried a couple of new things on this knife that I've never really done before. One is that I did a lot of hand polishing on this. Normally I try to do as much work on my belt grinders and buffers as possible. And I actually decided to put a little bit more elbow grease into this one. And after I did the majority of the work on my belt sander, I actually switched to some hand sanding with some little pieces of paper here. I used a popsicle stick here as a backer for a lot of it. But started about 220 after the belt grinder and took it up to about 600, after which I went to the buffer and really cleaned it up. And I think it actually made quite a bit of difference in the overall fit and finish than what I normally would achieve just on the belt grinder and buffer alone. And if you look at it, actually right here about an inch from the edge, you can actually see just a very faint Hayman, which is something else I was trying to bring out of this. It didn't pop as much as I wanted it to. But I did purposely do an interrupted quench on this to try to get a Hayman line coming out of this. And you can actually see it kind of running through here on both sides. And really depends a lot on the angle and the light at this time. And as this knife is used, as it ages and patinas a little bit more, that's something that's going to pop out a whole lot more. Be a nice little surprise, just to show the age and use of the knife. And I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on camera. You can actually see it very faintly if you look at it just right. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is 1095 high carbon steel for the blade. Got my mark there denoting that. Maker's mark on this side. It's about 2.5 inches wide at the widest point down here at the heel. And the handle scales are black paper micarta with some brass 1/4 inch Corby rivets. And got a nice belly in the blade there for the rock chopping and things like that. Goes all the way down there to the edge. And that's something I do like to do on my kitchen knives. I do grind in a ricasso, but I do kind of a little quarter cut out there to leave the edge exposed all the way to the back, so then you can make full contact on the cutting board. Sharpened to about 15 per side, give or take. and extremely thin there on the edge. And I did use 1/8 inch stock for this. So it is a little on the thick side for a chef's knife, but personally I like that little bit of extra heft, a little bit of weight, and the fact that it doesn't flex as much. So I'm going to give this to a friend of mine, like I said, do a little test run for, and I think when it's all said and done he may end up wanting to keep it. So I'll be making a few more. Eventually I'd like to start offering some for sale, but then again I've got a lot of other projects that I really want to be working on, so it may be a while. I do have a little bit of 2.5 inch stock left, so we'll see. But very happy with how this came out. I think it's going to see a lot of use and be a real nice kitchen knife. So appreciate the views, guys. Thanks for watching.